Welcome to the first meeting of the House Agriculture Committee. We have some members that have another committee to be in by 9 o'clock. I think we'll be through by then, but we'll go ahead and get started and open the floor up for any members who might have a guest they'd like to introduce. No guest worth introducing this morning. All right, we're all in the same boat. Let's see. Want to remind you from last session that we have a 24-hour rule on filing amendments and committee subs. We try to adhere to that as best as possible. Occasionally there's an exception pops up. We'll try to keep it to a minimum and make that exception rare, but if something pops up, give the chair a little lenience on that, please. All right, so we're going to do our roll call and find out who else here this morning.
Representative All.
Here.
Representative Callaway. Representative Klein.
Here.
Representative Dixon. Representative Graham. Representative Hale.
Here.
Representative Hart.
Here.
Representative Kim King.
Present.
Representative Cook. Here. Representative McPherson.
Here.
Representative Neighbors.
Here.
Representative Pollock.
Here.
Representative Pratt. Representative Rayburn. Representative Stalker. Representative Stevenson. Representative Tate.
Here.
Representative Thomas.
Present.
Representative Tipton.
Here.
Representative Pfister.
Here.
And Chairman Representative Heath.
Here.
We have a quorum.
We have a quorum, so we can take care of business, and we'll just go in order here. Representative Pfister, if you'll come, and we'll talk about House Bill 27 first. Good morning. Standard operating procedure will, Representative Pfister, let you introduce yourself for the record, and you can introduce your guests or they can introduce themselves.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Dan Pfister, State Representative from the 56th District.
I'm Alan Bryan. I serve as the President of the Kentucky Association of Conservation Districts.
Steve Coleman, Secretary-Treasurer of the Kentucky Association of Conservation Districts.
Welcome, gentlemen. It's not your first time before this committee, and we'll turn the floor over to you, Representative Pfister.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. This bill, House Bill 27, is not new to this committee. We've worked on it through the interim. It does basically one thing, and that is it increases the threshold for an audit from $500,000 to $750,000.
Motion on the bill.
We have a motion and a second on the bill. Is there any questions or comments or discussion before we vote? If not, we'll take the vote.
Representative All.
Yes.
Representative Callaway.
Yes.
Representative Kleins.
Yes.
Representative Dixon. Yes. Representative Pfister.
Yes.
Representative Graham. Representative Hale.
Yes.
Representative Hart.
Yes.
Representative Kim King.
Yes, ma'am.
Representative Cook.
Yes.
Representative McPherson.
Yes.
Representative Neighbors.
Yes.
Representative Pollock.
Yes.
Representative Pratt. Representative Rayburn.
Yes.
Representative Stalker. Representative Stevenson. Representative Tate.
Yes.
Representative Thomas.
Aye.
Representative Tipton.
Yes.
And Chairman Heath.
Yes.
Pass it. It passes.
Passes with favorable expression. Same two should pass on the House floor. Thank you, gentlemen.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman and committee.
A couple of you may need to hang on for the next bill, possibly. All right. Next, we have House Bill 130. Representative McPherson. Since the other two gentlemen have already introduced themselves, we'll allow you to introduce yourself for the record, and the floor is yours.
Thank you, Chairman, and thank you, Board. My name's Sean McPherson, 22nd District, Allen Simpson, portion of Warren County. I don't know if I'll be as quick as my colleague, but we'll take a shot at it here. House Bill 130 is a bill that we did here in interim and went into a little deeper dive this summer in June. Give you a little bit of history and background. In the 1960s and 70s, we had about 200 earthen dams built in the state of Kentucky. And we had water conservatory boards set up to watch over these dams. Some of them did a really good job. Some of them kind of lost interest over the years. Some of these dams have been maintained. A lot of them haven't. Some of them have silted in. Some of them have got trees growing in the dams. But we're now to a point to where these dams pretty much protect land below for big rains, floods, whatever it might be. They were set up for a purpose. And these purposes are beginning to either they're just in need of a lot of repair, and we haven't had the money to do that. This sets up the framework to do that, and it also gives the fact of these watershed conservatories that are functioning can continue to function. The ones that aren't functioning properly, it is a way to do away with those and to set up a framework for the Soil Conservation Board or the physical courts to take these over, or they can be reestablished. So that's pretty much what it does. We did have about $5 million that was set up 2 years ago, and we've got a couple of projects that we're working on. One was able to fund themselves, and one wasn't. But the numbers of a need for I think the 12 that are in most need of repair gets pretty astronomical, and we have a federal monies that come down every year. But without matching monies, we just don't have the ability to match this and to get these done and to keep them maintained. And so with that said, I'll turn it over with any questions or whatever might be.
We have a motion and a second on the bill, but would allow you guys from the Conservation District to weigh in on the matter if you'd like.
Any questions, or I can?
We do have a couple of questions or comments. We'll start with Representative Cook.
Good morning. Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I just wanted to say thank you for bringing this bill up. I've got one constituent in particular that's been greatly troubled with this. And just to help people understand, his situation, he had a right-of-way over the dam. The board, I know there's two sides to every story, but the board wasn't collecting the money, for we're talking decades on this. Then they're trying to shut down his right-of-way over the dam. He's running a business. He's got a Christmas tree farm on the other side of it. And, it has just created a jam in there. And there's situations like this literally all over rural Kentucky. So this is a badly needed, very important bill. So thank you for bringing it forward.
Thank you, Representative Cook. Representative Tipton.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Representative McPherson, thank you all for presenting this. I remember a conversation during the interim in my home district of Spencer County. We've got the Plum Creek watershed, very important to those citizens. I do have a question. This is set up like this is a taxing district. Most taxing districts in Kentucky are set up under House Bill 44 rules, where you can generate up to an additional 4% in revenue. How are these taxing districts set up on their ability to adjust fees and taxes?
You want me to go? Yes, sir. Again, it's governed by the same taxing authority. The tax occurs through millage through the landowners within the watershed that are receiving the benefits of the watershed. Again, these are large watersheds. Some are very small, so it kind of depends on the generated funds from those landowners. But again, that's pretty much set and has not been drastically changed over the years, but occasionally there is increases because of the need for maintenance required. Does that answer, Representative Tipton? Thank you.
Representative All.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. echo the gentleman for Bourbon's comments. We started to hear about this issue at the end of the last session, and we had another hearing during the interim, so we know it's been an ongoing issue that we needed to address. I appreciate the gentleman from Allen's work on this in the meantime to bring us a bill here. The one question I have is, did you work with partnership with the Energy and Environment Cabinet on this legislation, and do they think this is the best approach and where we need to go?
Yes, there's been multiple meetings. The cabinet has been there in every meeting that I've been with. Yes, as far as I know, they're on board and supporting the bill as much as they can.
That's excellent news. Thank you very much. Appreciate that.
Representative Hale.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Thank you, Representative McPherson, for this bill. I want to make sure I understand something. If I heard you correct, you said that the fiscal courts, does the fiscal court have the ability to completely remove these?
In my understanding of the bill, fiscal court can vote when the Watershed Conservancy District Board is no longer functioning. Either the Conservation District or the fiscal court in the counties where that watershed is at, they can vote to have that Watershed Conservancy Board district replaced by the Conservation District Board.
May I follow up, please?
Yes.
I think it's 4 of these in my district. And one is really it's very unique because it is in 2 counties. It lies on the county line, and it has board members from 2 counties. So help me here a little bit. And I think the fiscal courts both of the fiscal courts are wanting to abolish this, the board. But there's some issues there with people from both counties there and both fiscal courts. Help me a little bit there. I'm a little bit confused as to what might have to be done there.
Okay, with 2 counties, both either fiscal courts or both conservation districts, whoever initiates the proceedings to dissolve the existing watershed board would have to vote in favor. If it fails, you have to wait a year for that happens. If it passes, then then the conservation districts would take over and manage that watershed jointly. Mm-hmm. That's the language in the bill.
I would say that the way the bill reads, whichever one is the biggest in the district has 5 board members, right, and the other one has 3 board members. So if you've got a portion of a county, or maybe 2 or 3 counties, they whichever one owns the most in that district would have the most board members. As long as it's set up, that's the bylaws, the way it's set up.
Just one more comment, if I may.
Yes, go ahead.
I think this one was set up in the 60s, so I'll be honest, I don't know who has the control of it, but it's kind of a very odd situation. I think everybody's wanting it to go away, but I think they're trying to figure out a way with having 2 fiscal courts involved and members from both counties. But thank you, Mr. Chair.
Thank you for the comments, and some of your comments, Representative Hale, is exactly why we're having this bill today. It was brought to our attention about a year ago that the boards that have to make the decisions to ask for help, to ask for funds to do repairs, they weren't active, they weren't meeting. Nothing could happen to repair a watershed dam without that board taking the first step. So this legislation basically relieves that board of its duties, and it goes up the ladder to the conservation district, so that a request can be made for help. And you guys jump in and let me know if I'm off track here. But the federal organization can come in and do an assessment and figure out what needs to be done in the way of repairs and maybe an approximate cost at no charge to the conservation district. Then that number can be brought to Frankfurt and said, we've got a 35-65 match here, 35 on the state level, 65 on the federal level, but we don't have enough money in our conservation district to make the 35% match, and that's where we have to come back to Frankfurt and ask for help. So this piece of legislation is not asking for any money like Representative McPherson said, we're just setting the framework up, and we'll circle back to you guys on the money side later. We have a motion and a second. If there's no other comments, we have one more. Representative Stalker.
Good morning. My question is there a process? And if there is, what is it to reestablish the original board? So from my understanding, this is the board has become defunct. People are not there, right? This needs to be addressed. So the courts can then turn it over to the Watershed Conservation District, right? And
Yes.
then they can then take it from there. But is there ability moving forward that if a new group of people in the future wanted to reestablish that board, that they would have the ability to do so? And what is the process to do that if possible?
I'll answer the first part. Yes, there's a provision in the bill that allows for a new Watershed Conservancy District Board to be reestablished. And Mr. Coleman can address the process in
Yes, it would revert back to still the 262 exists now on the original creation of a watershed conservancy district. Again, the landowners in that watershed conservancy district petition the local district to reestablish, and then there will be an election process through a notification, and the landowners in that watershed will then elect a new board of directors appointed by the conservation district.
Thank you.
I have one more
follow-up. Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, one more follow-up. Thank you, Chair. I heard you say earlier that there was a waiting period of a year. So I'm wondering, in this particular case, is there a time where they're going to say you're going to have to sit out for a certain length of time before a new board can be established?
Well, if I might, I'll just respond. No, if it's all the parties disagree about dissolving the existing watershed, then you must wait another year to bring that topic back up. So that existing board would still function. There's not a waiting period if they want to reestablish a new one at any point in time by the approving parties of dissolving the old one and bringing a new one forward. There's no waiting period.
Thank you so much.
Yes, ma'am.
Welcome. Good question, and appreciate you bringing that up. These are some of the conversations and discussions that we've had over the past year trying to get to this point. I wanted to bring up one more item that hasn't been mentioned on page 6 of the bill, line 15. It says a director serving on the board of the Watershed District shall be immune from personal liability in any civil or criminal action which is based upon any official act or acts performed reasonably and in good faith by the director. And one of the things that we found out during our discussions and putting this together is part of the problem in getting a volunteer board together was they were concerned about the liability in being sued. So this gives them some protection for that. Anything else before we take the vote? Call the roll, please.
Representative Ball.
Yes.
Representative Callaway.
Yes.
Representative Kleins.
Yes.
Representative Dixon. Representative Pfister.
Yes.
Representative Graham. Representative Hale.
Yes.
Representative Hart.
Yes.
Representative Kim King.
Yes, ma'am.
Representative Cook. Yes. Representative McPherson.
Yes.
Representative Neighbors.
Yes.
Representative Pollock.
Yes.
Representative Pratt. Representative Rayburn.
Yes.
Representative Stalker.
Yes.
Representative Stevenson. Representative Tate.
Yes.
Representative Thomas.
Aye.
Representative Tipton.
Yes.
And Chairman Heath.
Yes.
Motion passes.
Representative Stevenson.
Thank you. I just wanted to be sure that my attendance was recorded. So we might need to do that after you call.
Okay. She's got you marked down as president. Thank you, and thank you, committee members. Appreciate the presentation and the effort here in getting this passed today. A couple announcements before we go. I wanted to welcome our Kentucky Soybean Association. We have some members here. Why don't you guys stand up and make your presence known. Appreciate you guys coming up today. We also appreciate you feeding us lunch in room 113 from 11 to 1. And if I understand it right, it's open to anybody that wants to come and have some barbecue. All right, good deal. I think you'll find the attendance will be quite large. If there's nothing else to come before this committee, we'll stand adjourned.